Dry conditions across the area. That's a look a little bit earlier today. That's out at Ledbetter, and there you can just see clear skies off in the distance, but you can see the flag there blowing. And yeah, the winds are up right now. We are right in the middle of this wind advisory. Temperatures right now in the upper 40s to the upper 50s. South Coast, Santa Barbara, yeah, temperatures are in the upper 50s. But coming up here, I'll show you more gauges across that area that show a different part of the story. It is still breezy along the central coast with winds 15 miles per hour in Paso Robles, but north wind 6 in San Luis Obispo. So already the activity is beginning to change a bit behind the front. There's a look at the current dew points. The air is drying out quickly. Dew point 32 in Paso and San Luis, 35 in Santa Maria. Obviously, it was raining today. They were higher than that. If you're looking for hot spots of the fire, there are not many at all. And again, really well detailed by our news team here. This is why there's some optimism about being able to get through this wind event tonight. How about the wind event? It is happening on San Marcos Pass right now. The winds are really variable in terms of speed, 7 to 26 miles per hour this last hour, relative humidity 54%. There's a gauge a little bit higher up in the mountains above Santa Barbara, a few miles up there, and you're looking at northeast winds 33 to 45, relative humidity 65%. And above Montecito in the hills, it's 58, north winds 6 to 16, and relative humidity 38%. Those winds start working their way down the passes and canyons. Again, it runs essentially north to south, so this is a true sundowner here. However, I think some of the winds are going to start lightening up around midnight. Fire weather warning into tomorrow morning due to the dryness. There is the wind element, but it won't be as strong in the late overnight and early morning hours. So the wind advisory is going to drop at 3 a.m. when the gust potential drops below 30 miles per hour. We talked about the freeze conditions, so it's very cold at higher elevations, and then especially in the wind-sheltered valleys. Santa Ynez Valley, a freeze warning through Thursday at 9 o'clock, so essentially after midnight here, it's going to get really cold in Santa Ynez Valley. And again, as detailed in that briefing we heard earlier, the winds basically shift into Ventura County with the ongoing fire weather warning, red flag warning, into Friday morning at 10 a.m. So freezing conditions across our area too. This is a look at the modeling for wind. You can see the winds are with us through 8 o'clock. You get the red indicating the stronger winds all across the Thomas Fire, where the wind potential is 15 to 30 with gusts 40 to 50. But there's midnight, and watch how the winds sort of relax across the area. That's because high pressure is building in. We won't have what's called a pressure gradient, or a difference in pressure over space will not be as much. The winds do shift northeasterly over the course of Thursday and then start to meander a bit later on Thursday as the landmass heats up. We'll get a little bit of an onshore as we get into late Thursday, and calming air as we get into the evening hours. So again, we just have to weather essentially the next 6 to 8 hours, and then things really change. Will rain help the fire? We did have a cold front. The cold front actually touched off this wind event, and not much rain fell across the area. We did see a few hundredths of an inch for much of the area. Around Cal Poly, we saw nearly 0.2 of an inch, but this event is essentially already past us. The front is past, and now we're getting into the high pressure transition behind the front. There you can see the high moving in from the Portland area. So high pressure goes to low pressure. That's why we have the north to northwest winds becoming lighter as we get into Thursday. The hourly forecast pretty interesting. Paso Robles hard freeze tonight, then only the mid-50s tomorrow. San Luis Obispo, even though the winds let up, we only get into the low 60s for highs. And Santa Maria, same story there. Winds northwest in the afternoon, but again, the daytime highs are going to struggle to get into the lower 60s. So here's my forecast for Thursday. Note the blue overnight lows. It'll be near frosty in Santa Maria and Lompoc, no advisories. 32 Santa Ynez, 26 Solvang, so those temperatures are definitely advisory level there. Even Arroyo Grande, 35, then back up to 61 tomorrow, 23 San Miguel. I think the interesting time frame is Friday and Saturday morning in Santa Maria, freeze or near freeze conditions. And look at the interior valleys. Paso Robles 19 Friday morning, 23 on Saturday morning. But as we get out to Christmas, 70-degree highs, not just inland, but also along the coastal areas. Sunday, Christmas Eve, could be nearly 80 degrees in San Luis Obispo. So we're starting to stretch both sides of the temperatures.
Wow. All right. Thank you, Dave. Well, Cal Poly announces new football